It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and
How's it going,
everyone
guys?
telling you.
Chase Castle, Vin Rella here.
Hello?
What's up, Vin?
Nothing much. Playoffs are starting. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, Vin, you had a post in our group, the Fed, a little while ago. Posted posted it's the most wonderful time of the year because it's hockey playoffs, and you are quite honestly probably the biggest hockey fan I know. I don't think I know a bigger hockey fan than you,
Oh, thank you, sir.
and
I think
definitely
Connor's right there too.
Connor's right there, but you're working for an NHL minor league team. I don't see Connor doing that at UPenn. Like,
It's because he sucks.
yeah, like honestly, it's Connor. Who cares?
I mean, just like do less, Connor.
Like
I mean, honestly, like what is he? I mean, he's just getting his master's in engineering. Like, I mean, it's like
he went to the non-Ivy of Ivies. So
I mean, I don't think he can get away with saying that.
and say hi to Jeff while you're there if you're listening, Connor. But but yeah, Vin, you're on the show because you know hockey. You know it better than anything else. I asked you for information on hockey. I'm a big Caps fan, but when it comes to the rest of the NHL, I don't know nearly as much. Again, I'm learning. I think I will eventually know more and more as go. But whereas Vin just sort of grew up doing that, as you can probably see by the pictures in this podcast. This is Vin playing for the Ridgefield Tigers. How were
Go
those days
Tigers.
with you had the hit him low, hit him high with Cameron Whitelaw on the team. Uh, Vin the speedy little guy and Cam the Yeti. I guess before we get into NHL, you got any comments on your old Ridgefield days?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost that game in that pick. By the way, I think I got a penalty on that hit because the ref's like, you can't do that.
Really?
But
He's diving into the back of the it's SJ. I don't know, is that St. John's or something?
St. Joe's. But
St.
that kid
Joe's.
was, I mean, that kid was very good, and like, I mean, we had to stop him somehow. I mean, obviously, like,
Oh,
so like our coach said, like, put it
crack some
by him any way you
vertebrae.
can, and I mean, 15-year-old me is like, I need to contribute, so I
and
just
and now he's in a wheelchair.
did that. Oh my god,
That guy can't walk anymore. Teaches him right to go up against Vin.
he ended
Um,
up playing a pretty high level hockey after that.
mm. uh, but anyways, let's get to the playoffs.
All right,
It is the most wonderful time of the year. I'm not going to hop directly into my team. I want to sort of skate around, as they'd say. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs, so
okay.
got to throw a dad pun in there. Um, but which of these games, other than Caps Blue Jackets, obviously has to be the most intriguing. Which of these matches look the most interesting to you? Because obviously I'm a Preds fan as well. We both know that. We both went to a Preds game. It was great. I know I personally also really want to see Vegas play, see how they are in the playoffs. Uh, they've been good during the season, but see how they play in the playoffs. I know the Kings aren't probably the best team. Obviously, it's a 1 versus 8, but what are you looking forward to?
To be honest, I mean, all these matchups are pretty solid. I mean, Nashville, I mean, Colorado kind of just squeaked in there. I mean, I think Nashville is gonna end that game either in a sweep or probably in five. The Winnipeg Minnesota has some intrigue, but to be honest, I mean Vegas LA is interesting because Johnny Quick's getting hot, and Fleury's kind of having like a Vezina caliber year. I mean he's definitely like up there at top five. So I mean that's going to come down to goaltending. But I mean yeah, all these series are pretty solid. I mean the Devils can give Tampa a chance. Like I mean I honestly think I mean because we saw the Devils play against Nashville. I mean they were fast and they were big and physical.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean anything could happen.
Like they've definitely put up a good fight. Like the Preds even lost to them when we saw them. Trevor Hall is obviously a one man wrecking crew, but do you think playoff like we do have this New Jersey Devils team, which is just sort of Trevor Hall just put him on your back, take him as far as you can go. Is there like obviously it doesn't matter with the goalie in terms of you ride the hot goalie. That's always sort of the narrative for the NHL playoffs. But do you also say like, would you rather have the team that's good all around, or the team that's done well like in the regular season, has been hot, but it's sort of putting their like everything on one guy, and let's say a guy that's not the goalie, because goalie can clearly be the bigger difference in this.
I'd rather have the first option, just a solid all-around team. I mean, I think that's going to happen with like if you take a look at the Nashville-Colorado series. I mean, McKinnon's that guy. But I mean, Nashville has solid D and Subban, Ellis, Ekholm, Yossi. I mean, their top four is absurd. It's the best in the league. So, I mean, I think one of those guys can shut down McKinnon, and then they don't really have that much of a second threat. I mean, because McKinnon's in the running for their heart. So I mean, you shut him down, you basically shut down the entire team.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But like, what about like a team like Vegas? And obviously, this is a very interesting team because of how they were formed. It's sort of almost experimental because you got a bunch of not like stars on the team, but a bunch of very good players. But do you see any of them like if they face what's Anaheim's best player? Why am I forgetting the name?
Getzlaf.
Getzlaf. Like do you see like anyone on that Vegas team shutting down a guy like Getzlaf? Like just all because if like you see Vegas, they're just solid all around, but do you think other team stars are going to shine because you don't necessarily have one guy that can match up on the opposing team stars?
That's a good point. I just want to go back to the Nashville series again.
Yeah, sorry.
So I mean, McKinnon's the guy, but I mean, they have Colorado has Rantanen. They got Gabriel Landeskog too. Had like pretty solid years. They put up a good amount of points, but they don't have the impact that McKinnon does on the team.
Mm.
So, but anyway, going back to that Vegas series, that is a very good question.
I know it's Vegas Kings first round. I was just talking possibilities of second round. I was saying Anaheim because I thought I could remember the player's name, and I knew Getzlaf, and I screwed up. But I don't know. That is an argument I've been hearing about Vegas. I know granted I'm getting part of it from part of my take, but I've heard it elsewhere when they had Ryan Whitney on. He was saying he thinks that Vegas is going to lose in the first round. He said that he doesn't know if that team like can actually just handle going up against different stars.
Yeah, I mean, but I think Vegas has a good coach. I mean, they're very disciplined. They all play hard. That's why they're drafted, because of the way they play and their style. But I mean, at the same time, it's very tough to beat LA in the playoffs. I mean, especially when Johnny Quick's getting hot, Kopitar's having an awesome year. I mean, Doughty you can always rely on, and Dustin Brown's going to be that go-to leader.
Yeah, and like it is going to be interesting. I want to see how Vegas does. Looking over to the East, I think one of the biggest matchups is going to be this Boston versus Toronto series. Both of those teams have been amazing, and honestly, the East as a whole has been very good this season. And I feel like anyone can really come out of it, other than probably. I don't think a ton of people are going to be giving Philly credit, and I think everyone knows Washington won't be getting past the second round. But other than that, like it wouldn't be shocking. It is maybe a little bit with New Jersey, but like Pittsburgh can get there. Okay, Columbus. Okay, sorry. It's Pittsburgh, Toronto, Boston, and Tampa, and I'd say to a lesser degree New Jersey all have legitimate shots at winning the Cup. Am I wrong in saying that?
I don't know. I mean, first of all, I'm going to say that I heard the pain in your voice when you talked about the Caps making it only to the second round.
It's not pain.
I mean, that felt real and it felt emotional.
It's not pain at this point. It's disappointment. I'm not mad.
Okay, Dad.
It's and part of it's acceptance, but like part of it, like it's acceptance, but it's acceptance knowing that they're going to drag me back into it, and they're still going to like give me a heartbreak. Like Pittsburgh's going to be up 3-0. We're going to lose Ovi. We're going to battle back the next 3 games, get back to even. Ovi's going to come back from nowhere. He's going to score a goal to open it up. And then Pittsburgh's going to battle back and score like a goal with 2 seconds remaining in the game. And Caps are going to lose Game 7 again. Just wait for it. Like the Capitals are amazing at dragging you back in and giving you hope, only to just rip it right back out of you.
All right, so I'm quoting you at 9/27, April 10th, 2018. That's your prediction. Caps, Penguins. Penguins up 3-0. Caps come back, get Ovi back, and still lose.
It's Caps year to lose in the second round.
But yeah, I mean, this East matchup with Toronto, Boston. I mean, I think Boston. I think they're going to win the cup. I mean, or at least come out of the East. I mean, they're very solid. They're in every game this year, and Tuukka plays better in the playoffs than he does the regular season. I don't know why, but that just seems to be the case.
He really does. He has done well in the playoffs. I know last year you didn't see it as much, but it's just these are two very very good teams. Again, they're Boston ended with 112. Toronto ended with 105. Same amount of wins. It's just Boston had 12 overtime losses, which sort of gotten those cheeky like one extra points, which definitely helped them. But it's sort of interesting though. Like this matchup, and again, I don't like. We've had this discussion. I don't like the NHL playoff format, and sort of for this reason. Boston playing Tampa Bay this early, it's just these are two very good teams. Like Capitals only had had 105, but like I don't know. Or wait. Sorry. I mixed that up. I completely mixed it up. That's actually probably what it should be. But yeah, I don't know why I completely screwed that up, and that is my fault 100%. I mixed that up with another team. But I still don't like the playoff format, and that isn't the reason why. This is a great podcast.
This is a great podcast.
Thank you guys for all zero of you listening to us as we speak into the black void.
Hello. But yeah, I mean, for some reason, I think Toronto's had Boston's number this year in the regular season. I don't know why that's the case, but because I think Boston's a better team. Just Matthews and Nylander found a way to finish. But I think Donato's going to have a big impact because it seems like, I mean, every time there's a new young player that comes into the league or comes into a team that's in the playoffs, they make an immediate impact. So I think he's going to have a huge impact. I think Bergeron, Marchand are going to be those leaders. And I honestly think, I mean, you can ride a hot goalie in the playoffs. I mean, if you look at the past, I think 5 Stanley Cup champions, they've all had a goalie save percentage with at least 9-2. Mm-hmm. I mean, Pekka last year when they beat Chicago in the first round had like a 9. I think it was like a 9-7 save percentage in those 5 games. And Nashville was the wild card too.
Yeah, that felt almost like a bye. They just swept them. Who saw that coming? I think that's why there's
5 games.
Oh, was it 5? Oh, I thought it was 4.
Yeah, they could have swept them though.
Oh, it was just sort of the gentleman's sweep. Just gave them a win to say like we didn't just shut you out. We gave you one. But Nashville is just that dominant in it. Not saying that people thought Nashville was a bad team by any means, but like to sweep the Blackhawks, who are like perennially in the playoffs, which ironically enough you don't see this year. This year's sort of interesting. You got a lot of blue blood teams that you normally see in there, not in there. You don't see the Rangers either. You don't see Detroit, Montreal. I know they've had their ups and downs, but normally they're good. Ottawa looked good last year. Like they got to the finals. Not
no
Stanley
Dallas
Cup finals,
year?
but yeah, it's just you don't see any of them, and that's just the East. Even the Islanders aren't normally a horrible team. The Blues
no St. Louis either.
Yeah, no St. Louis, no Dallas, or Chicago. It's just a very interesting playoffs, just because that many blue bloods could literally probably field an entire conference. So we'll see what happens, but like, do you think that affects the playoffs at all? Like, is there a mentality about not having as many blue bloods? Obviously, you have like a Boston, Boston, Toronto, two of the original 6 in there, and like you do have Pittsburgh, you do have I guess the Flyers, but Flyers are like always up and down. Does that? Do you think that's really going to affect the Stanley Cup? I say it probably will in the ratings because like a Minnesota-Winnipeg isn't really going to draw, I think, a ton from fans. Like you look at like a few of the matchups, you're not getting those blue blood matchups that you normally draw at least a bigger attention. But do you think that's going to impact the gameplay at
all? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, obviously, I mean you play different with experience. But at the same time, it's still the playoffs. I mean, every game matters, so you're going to see guys, I mean, playing their hardest literally every shift. But I mean, the teams that are going to come out, I think, are going to be the most experienced ones. So, I mean, you have to take care of your body. You have to make sure that you're eating right. On this off day is like there's a strict regimen that you have to follow, and that just comes with experience. And I think that's one of the reasons why Boston's going to come out, because you have those veterans like Chara, like Bergeron, like Marchand, even Tuca. That, I mean, Connor, if you're listening and I missed anybody, yeah, I don't really care what you think. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why I think Boston's going to come out. I don't think it's going to affect the overall gameplay, but I do think, or the competition level, but I do think you're going to see the newer teams struggle a little bit as the series continues.
Also, to get back on the playoffs, just to make it an even better podcast, I actually was right in what I was saying, and I completely just screwed up what I was thinking. Why is a team that has 105 points playing a team that's 112? And this isn't helping the Caps' case, because right now we're playing Columbus, who has 97 points in the regular season, and we, like, in terms of whatever, NHL points, like a win's 2 and a loss in overtime's 1. Why should a team like Washington be playing Columbus in the first round? Shouldn't they be playing a harder team? It feels like Toronto's sort of getting screwed out of this.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs, so every team is that good. Toronto or Boston's gonna. They're gonna get screwed the first round. But you can even make the point against that too, and say that the year when LA won the Cup, they were the 8th seed, and they had to beat Vancouver in 5. They had to sweep St. Louis, who was a 2, and they had to beat Phoenix at the time, who was a 3 and I think 6. And they played the Devils in the championship in the Stanley Cup, but they were a 6th seed.
Well, but
at the same point, it's moot.
Yeah, but like UMBC upset Virginia. Like anything can happen. I'm not like just because that happened doesn't like validate that. Like as a Caps fan, I sure as hell didn't want to play Pittsburgh in the second round last year when it's the number 1 and number 2 team in the East. Like,
to be honest, I think Pittsburgh might be a better matchup for you guys at least.
But even just as a matchup, like and hell, I'm even just talking last year. Like if I'm Toronto, I'd rather be the wild card. If I'm wild card 1, I'm playing Washington, and I'm not playing Boston, who's Boston is clearly a hotter team right now. Like, and like clearly you can tell by the amount of wins and everything else. If you're Toronto, wouldn't you sort of want to have that wild card 1 spot over the 3 seed?
Give me a second. I'm going to try to figure out basically the 1 through 8 for conference. I just want to see what that would look like. That was the format.
Yeah, and even if you're Toronto, with this messed up
okay,
playoff,
but yeah, I mean Toronto gets screwed over.
And yeah, with this playoff format, it also puts Pittsburgh in first Philly, which is not as good of a matchup as Tampa Bay, New Jersey. Well, Tampa Bay's better.
Yeah, but it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so awesome.
I think it's better when you actually have the correct matchups. I think this is so just not right. It's like if you're the better team, you should have the easier route. What are you working for in the regular season?
All right. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So, conference matchups in the East. Ready?
Yeah.
It'd be Tampa, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is where it changes. So it would be Boston, Columbus.
Yes.
Caps, Philly, Toronto, Pittsburgh.
Caps, Philly wouldn't be awesome.
But I think
Toronto,
Pittsburgh
wouldn't
be
better.
better.
A really good. You don't think Toronto, Pittsburgh would be a really good game?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. Just because it's like the Pennsylvania rivalry. I'm just saying that I think Philly and Pittsburgh is going to have a little bit more firepower. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if you sacrifice just getting the better games for screwing over harder work. You know what I mean? Like it takes ambition out of to necessarily, you want to win a certain amount, but you don't want to win too much unless you're the very number 1. And even if you're the very number 1, you could still end up playing the second best team in your conference.
I mean, yeah, like I see your point with the 1 through 8. I just personally think, I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying that teams come out harder when they're playing like a rival. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, like the Boston Columbus series,
mm-hmm.
like that would be a good series. It's just that the history between Boston and Toronto, two original six teams, like that's like they're going to be going at it every shift.
It's the playoffs. They'll be going at it every shift regardless.
No, but it elevates though with original six matchups. And
All
I'm
right.
not saying that's fair. I'm just saying that that's just the way it is. Like they're going to come out harder just because Boston's playing Toronto and just because Toronto's playing Boston.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's move off this subject and let's get into my team, the Capitals.
All right. What do you want to know?
Oh, tell me a little about Columbus. Tell me what Washington needs to do. And you know what? Here, give me your view on Washington as well. I want to hear your thoughts on Washington. I know enough on my own, but it's good to hear an outside of the market opinion as well.
All right.
Give me the rundown.
Well,
of
first
both
of
teams.
all, I mean the Caps. They have firepower. I mean, I think that's self-explanatory. That goes without being said. Right now, the goalies are hot. I mean, Grubauer is the hot hand, so you go with him. If Holtby can play the way that he can in the playoffs, which I think Chasey said he's the best playoff goalie according to save percentage
He's the
in
best
history.
active. He's a hundredth, or no, sorry, 1,000th off in save percentage from the best. Tim Thomas has a .933 save percentage. Holtby is a .932. Holtby has the highest active playoff what do you call it, save percentage at .932. And that's over 59 games played in the playoffs.
Okay, so it's a big sample size.
So,
then.
yeah, and that's, like, again, Tim Thomas had 51 games. So, while Holtby hasn't made it far, there's been a lot of Game 7s. I think Caps have been in 16 playoff series since Ovechkin came in the league. And
2 times 8.
And yeah, but 10 of those 16 times have gone to Game 7s, and I think 4 of those have gone to Game 6, only 2 have gone Game 5. So that's why he has been in a lot of games. So often the knock's like, oh, well, save percentage is that high, but he hasn't actually played that much. He's played 59 games. That's more than Tuukka Rask. That's more than Craig Anderson, Matt Murray, Ben Bishop. Really, almost any other active player, playoff goalie in the league right now. Well, at least that's in this top until you get to Jonathan Quick at 18 on that list.
Freaking Johnny Quick.
Who we will get to later.
Yeah. So Caps, they got the speed there. I mean, love Carlson. I think he's a great defenseman. I think Orlov's a very underrated skater. And once again, if Holtby can play the way that he plays, then I think they're going to be a pretty solid team going in. The only problem is that I don't think they're going to be able to outmuscle Columbus like Toronto did. I mean, coming from a fundamental standpoint, I mean, Torts is the head coach, and a Torts team is very tough. They're very physical, and they're always working. Mm-hmm. In the offensive zone, like when the Columbus has the puck, they like to set up a guy up right in front and then another guy up in the slot. So it's basically like a double screen. So they give the puck to the point, and then it's either going to get tipped in the slot or tipped in front. But anyway, it's going to be tough for Holtby to see it. Mm-hmm. Columbus is going to bring it, every chance they get. And I know it goes without saying, but Columbus is an extremely physical team. Healthy Seth Jones coming back. That could cause problems for the Caps. And Panarin needs to get going too. I think he's going to be he'd be very solid in this matchup. But the only thing why I'm not picking Columbus is because of Bobrovsky. If you look at his playoff stats, I love great regular season player. I think like 9.2, 9.3, but in the playoffs it's like an 8.87. Mm-hmm. So, that's just bad. That's terrible. So if he plays like this, then I think Caps are going to run away with it. But if Bobrovsky can find his game in the playoffs, it's going to be very tough to beat Columbus. But so I guess as of now, I'm picking the Caps in 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I like the Caps right now. I know Torella teams are going. He's been a very interesting coach. I saw him with who do you call it? With the Rangers when he was there, And then what team was he with where he just started the fight?
Vancouver.
Yes, when he was with Vancouver and just threw 5 goons on the ice.
That was never gonna work though with Vancouver. I mean,
Yeah.
like they're all finesse, and I mean, you can't expect like all those guys just to like play hard nosed like gritty hockey. I mean, right after going with AV.
Mm. But uh, we'll see because the playing like that has its pros and cons. You can play tough and you can play physical, but then there might also not really be the most. I'm trying to think of the right word. I just had it, but I'm blanking on it. Um, they might not be able to restrain themselves when they need to. They might be a little bit undisciplined, and you don't really want to give you don't really want to give Caps any power play with the firepower they have, and so I expect that to be what gets the Caps through. I expect good goaltending from Grubauer, but I think there's going to be a very short leash. Again, Holtby has. I know he's not the hot hand, and that's what you ride into the playoffs. But his playoff performance is literally Hall of Fame worth. Like it's the second best there's ever been. And I know they haven't won, but I don't think that it's really because of him. There's been 1 or 2 bad game 7s, but the only reason they got to game 7 each one of those times was because of his ridiculous goaltending. Ovechkin hasn't showed up on multiple ones. I think there's been a lot of this other firepower seems to be missing at multiple points as well. Uh, and again, he's had four shutouts as well in those 59 games. And that save percentage is just ridiculous. And against goals against, it's 2 on the dot allowed a game.
I mean, what more can you want from your goalie? I mean, those are like
exactly.
pretty solid.
The only thing that means you wouldn't get in the Hall of Fame is the fact that his team isn't going anywhere and those game 7s. But the numbers he's putting up just the numbers are that. But yeah, I think Caps will get through this, and then they'll probably be playing Pittsburgh in the second round. I'm looking forward to it.
If Columbus can, or if the Caps can stay out of the corners and just play with speed, I think that they'll come out. They'll definitely come out. But I mean, Columbus has some pretty speedy forwards on like their third and fourth line. I mean, I saw them play twice, so I can tell you from like actually seeing them, Columbus is a very solid team. I think the Caps are coming out, but it's not going to be a cakewalk.
I expect this to go a little bit like the Cap series versus the Maple Leafs, where you get the speedy team, you get the fast team that does well early, but the Caps last year were just sort of able to weather the storm. They stayed strong. They didn't expend all their energy in the first few games, and I'd say it'll probably get to 2-2, and then Caps will win like the next, they'll probably win the next 2 after that.
Columbus doesn't go away; they keep battling. I mean, they came back from Detroit it was a 4-1, and they came back 5-4 in OT. I mean, that team always fights. So, I mean, if the Caps can really put the pedal to the metal, I mean, I think they're gonna run away with this.
Yeah,
not run away. I mean, I shouldn't say run away, but get 6 games.
But even pedal to the metal, like last year, they went up against Pittsburgh, and I think they got swept, or was it 5? I think their series
Columbus?
versus Pittsburgh, last year.
Yeah, I think it was. I want to say 5.
And they were coming in supposed to be like a very good team, supposed to wear out Pittsburgh, and they didn't. They just sort of fell short. Part of that's Bobrovsky, and just not playing well in the playoffs. So I'm not going to say that it was all that. And again, I didn't intently really watch any of those games. I know I had one of them, I think, on in the background because it affected the Caps. But I think Caps will win this. I think 6 is probably a good prediction. Caps aren't as good
I need to see.
Yeah.
We need to see the actual goals that Bobrovsky gave up last year's against Pittsburgh. But I mean, just looking at the numbers, it's 80. It's an 88 save percentage. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you don't know if the D left them out to dry or not.
Yeah. But even then, even if it was the D that let him out to dry, something happened on that team to allow Pittsburgh to sort of roll through them.
Matt Murray got hot.
Yeah. I saw Pittsburgh do that. They almost rolled through the Capitals. But they didn't.
The Backstrom play that series.
Versus who?
Pittsburgh.
I think he actually did well. He normally isn't the best in the playoffs, but I actually think he did well. I think he had one or two goals to win, like pretty much game-winning goals in those playoff series. I'm just trying to forget it. I forget if it was against Pittsburgh or if they were both against the Maple Leafs or if they were both against Pittsburgh. I know he had at least one. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for playoffs just because the games are just insane.
So good.
And it's just every other night you get something huge. I'm actually going to the Caps game Thursday versus Columbus.
Really?
Yeah, got
That's
some
gonna
tickets.
that's gonna be nuts.
I'm very excited. I got to go to the first game versus the Lightning or not Lightning, Maple Leafs last year, as well. Like they're fun, but it's like game sevens that you really, really, really start to feel it. This first game, like it's going to be crazy, like anyways. But I'm hoping Caps can get through these guys fairly fast. I want them to be well rested when they inevitably play Pittsburgh, and I can also say that I'll be rooting heavily for Philly, which might be the only time you'll ever hear me say I'm rooting heavy for a Philly team in the playoffs.
I think we're all rooting for Philly here.
Yeah. And let's hop down to that game. What do you think about this Philly for the Flyers? I don't know a ton about them. Their goalie's Mason. I know that because the Caps played him 2 years ago, and I remember being in Italy watching it. And Mason, there's a goal where Mason, like it was the Caps clearing the puck, and it just went through his legs, like on a clear, and it's the playoffs, and his team was still in it. I think Caps won that game 4-2. And that's sort of my lasting memory of him, even though I know he's supposed to be like actually not that bad of a goalie. But yeah, that's sort of what I have, and that sort of scares me about the Flyers going up against Penguins, and the Penguins having won the Stanley Cup the last 2 years, and obviously clearly experienced in the playoffs team, not just because of the past 2 years, but that core is just unbelievably experienced.
Respect the core.
How fast do you have the Pittsburgh Penguins winning this?
I don't know. I mean, well, first of all, I don't think it's going to be that fast. I mean, then again, they did beat Columbus in 5 last year.
Mm-hmm. And Columbus was better than what the Flyers were this year last year.
Yeah, I really liked Columbus last year too. I mean, I thought they were going to make some noise. It's just Bobrovsky doesn't do well in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if you saw the 2012 playoffs at all when Penguins played the Flyers.
I didn't see it.
Well, I mean, to summarize it, Giroux dropped the gloves with Crosby, and that was just physical. I mean, Letang got in a fight too. I mean, there were just hits and goals nonstop. I mean, it wasn't like a fight. It was more like a tussle, but I mean, Giroux wanted it so bad. I mean, Giroux wanted to go.
I was just surprised when you said fight. 1, because it's Crosby, and then 2, because it's playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta look at the results of that series. I think Philly may have beaten the Penguins in that. Let's see. It's pulling it up right now. But yeah, I mean, that was physical. I mean, if you look at I think it was game 5 or game 6.
But if we also
first shift, Giroux just wrecked Crosby and then scored like 10 seconds later. It was amazing.
But if we also
the Drew's got to play like that.
If we also need to go to 6 years ago to say that, like this Flyers team has Drew, but like, is it like? Do you think this Flyers team actually has a legitimate chance? Okay. Stanley Cup playoffs, anything can happen. Like we saw when we talked about earlier, the Blackhawks losing in 5 to the Sabres, the Predators. What am I talking about? Last year. So like anything can happen, but come on, it's Pittsburgh, the defending champs. I know they aren't the number 1 team in the East.
You don't have to be in the playoffs. That's the thing.
Exactly, but it's this. It's like it's Pittsburgh like the I don't know, like the LeBron where you don't do anything. It's more of a team. I know Crosby's good, but it's sort of the team as a whole. Are they more that team that didn't do as well in the regular season, but are just like more focused on the playoffs, and they're going to get there and immediately become what they were the past 2 years? Or is this team like noticeably different and not as good as they were last year? Not to say that they were bad, but did they take at least a slight step down from last year, or do you expect them to come in just as good as they have been?
It's like the exact same roster.
Exactly.
I mean, I think Ian Cole. I always forget if he's on the Blue Jackets or the Penguins. I know we got traded to one of them, but he's a pretty solid defenseman. Yeah, so he's on the Blue Jackets now, but he was traded from Pittsburgh during that three-way trade. I think it was between I think it was Ottawa, Pittsburgh, and Columbus, or Nashville. I forget. I forget the exact teams, but Ian Cole was a big part of that defense. So I think they kind of took a step back defensively, but I mean, then again, it's kind of tough to match up with Crosby and Malkin as your top two.
Now,
I don't think.
Does Pittsburgh have any crazy guy they brought up from the farm system that just suddenly is doing incredibly well right now, like it seems they always do?
Not that I know of.
Who was the guy last year who had like 3 goals in the first 3 games or something? Getzel. Yeah, just out of nowhere, they just happen to have like another guy just from nowhere playing at an all-star level. I feel like Pittsburgh always has just some random guy they bring up from their minors.
I saw Weichsberg play like a couple times this year. I mean, they're pretty solid. I mean, they have a couple like pretty good players, but I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to make that much of an impact. At the same time, I mean, anything can happen. So I mean, they could come in and just absolutely tear it up.
All right. Let's look around the playoffs. If I have this bracket opening, let's finish off the East. Tampa Bay, New Jersey. Trevor Hall, Tampa Bay versus Tampa Bay, essentially. Who you have winning and how many games?
I got Tampa winning in. I want to say, I think Tampa winning in 6, but I mean, Kincaid's hot right now, that's the thing. And obviously, I mean, I don't know. I really like New Jersey though. I mean, so I'll say Tampa for 6 now, just because I mean they have McDonough McDonough and Girardi are their second pair D. Mm-hmm. So I mean they know what it takes to win the playoffs.
So the Tampa Bay Rangers are going to beat the New Jersey Devils.
Don't even get me started. We're going to trade the next captain that we made to Tampa.
It seems like they're just sort of riding on the spoils, and Lundqvist isn't going to get anything.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. Hank's got to get something.
He needs to leave. They're in rebuild now. But we'll save that for later.
On the fly, okay? Rebuild on the fly.
We'll talk about that later because this is the playoffs we're talking about. Right. I got Tampa winning as well. They're just offensive firepower is unbelievable, and seeing a Boston-Tampa matchup would actually be a lot of fun to see. Hell, even Tampa-Toronto I'd like to see, but Tampa-Boston would, I think, be the sort of favored matchup. Let's head over west. I think we have Nashville beating Colorado, I assume.
Wait, who do you have coming out of the East?
We'll get to the final predictions after. I want to leave my Capitals in there till I have to take them out.
All right.
Nashville, Colorado.
Nashville.
I'll say a gentleman's sweep in 5.
Yeah, I'll say 5. I mean,
I don't think
McKinnon can go off though at any moment. That's the problem. But yeah, I mean, I think Nashville's stacked.
Mm-hmm. Now Winnipeg, Minnesota. Does Minnesota still boost Boudreau? Or did they fire him?
Still head coach.
He's still there?
I know, I'm pretty sure he's still head coach. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Winnipeg's going to win this. Yeah, I keep forgetting because the thing is, Bruce Boudreau's done this to the Capitals. Then he went to Anaheim and did the exact same thing, and then he went to Minnesota, and they're going to be perennially in the playoffs, and they're perennially going to suck anywhere else, or at getting past once they're in the playoffs. I don't trust Minnesota because of that. They can look good, but again, getting my hopes up for Minnesota is like getting my hopes up for the Caps since Ovi's gotten here. So I have Winnipeg winning this. I don't really even know much about either team. I'm fairly confident Winnipeg, even though, Winnipeg's normally not even that good and lacks playoff experience. Minnesota's had negative playoff experience, where the more they play in the playoffs, the worse they're going to do there. I have Winnipeg winning this, and I'll do it in a heartbreaker Game 7.
It's going to come down to Hellebuck and net for Winnipeg. I mean, because it's his first playoffs, and he's our age. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he adapts and basically like how he handles the pressure.
What are we doing with our
What's
lives,
up?
Vin?
I know, we're talking about a podcast right now.
What have we accomplished? We're Skype podcasting to probably the 5 people that are listening to this, and he's about to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I mean, if 5's the line, I'm taking the under.
Meanwhile, Austin Matthews is younger than us, and he's already in his second playoff. Or third.
Yeah, McDavid's coming off his second 100-point season.
Oh, great.
Yeah. God.
I'm so happy.
So happy.
So great.
Happy.
So great. Let's head down. Las Vegas versus LA. Brian Quick's been sort of standing on his head recently. Don't know why that's or not Brian Quick. What's his name?
Johnny
Quick.
Jonathan Quick.
Why am I thinking Brian Quick? Oh, I'm thinking of the Redskins receiver. That's my bad. Clearly, our fourth string receiver is going to be more important than the LA goalie. It's only a wild card.
You called the starting goalie for LA the fourth string wideout?
Yeah.
Dude,
surprisingly athletic. Did I tell you played football in college?
Oh, no way, bro.
Yeah. So let's throw him on ice. He has to be good. I'm waiting for the Patriots to draft Dante DiVincenzo, saying he drafted him. He's surprisingly talented. He played basketball in college. Yeah.
That could happen, but technically I'm a free agent right now, so I'm waiting for a call from the next head coach of the Rangers.
I guess so.
They want a young, scrappy guy.
I guess so. So am I, but Hellebuck is our age, and he's been taken off the market.
Yeah.
Just to go full circle there.
I think we can be better than Hellebuck eventually. I mean, it's going to take a while.
With enough time and practice, and I don't think age is on our side.
I think if we take care of our knees and wait for him to get to 80, I think we have a chance.
No, you should just sign up as the emergency goalie for any Winnipeg game, and just be that guy like the accountant for the Blackhawks. That just sort of comes in.
No, but he's good. He played at Western Michigan. That's D1.
He played.
Dude, I'm playing forward right now. I played forward for D3 club.
Wait.
There's a pretty big difference.
Well, okay. He played 20 minutes of total time when he was at Western Michigan as a backup, and then plays on intramural teams right now as well. So I don't think you're actually as far off as you say.
No, I'm saying this. I mean, I'm not even going to joke about it. He is 100% better than me at hockey.
We'll see. No, we won't. But
we won't.
I'd like to see. Should call him up. We'll get him on the podcast next time.
I'd be lucky if I get one shot out of 200.
Let's talk Vegas, LA.
But actually, going back to that Winnipeg series, I think Winnipeg is going to come out, but Minnesota's experience. So that could be the factor. Big Buff, however, for Winnipeg he has a cup with Chicago when he was a forward. So along with Blake Wheeler, I don't think has a cup. Actually, does Blake Wheeler have a cup?
I don't know. I guess Minnesota could win this. They are Bruce Boudreau. They can get to the second round of the playoffs and then lose to a team dressed in yellow in terms of Nashville in the second round. So that would actually might seem even a little bit more Bruce Boudreau-esque. But I'm still going to stick on Winnipeg this way.
The only knock on Minnesota, though, is that lost Ryan Suter.
Wait, you mean other than the large looming one of Bruce Boudreau? I will just continue to mention that because it's the playoffs.
You really have something against him.
He's not a good coach. Well, he's good in the regular season, and then come playoffs, he doesn't really do much. This is the third team he's done this with. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. LA versus Vegas. Let's go to Party City. Which one are you talking about? Haha.
It's really hard to pick against. That was really bad. it's really hard to pick against LA in the playoffs. I mean, it's just we haven't seen what this Vegas team is going to play like because it's their first year, so we don't have anything to go off of.
They're made up of a bunch of experienced guys, and like most expansion teams, they aren't based off a bunch of young guys. They got a bunch of solid players from different teams. I think if anything, if the NHL allows one more team, they got to sort of rethink who they allow to pick, because Vegas, I think, got more than they necessarily needed. I don't think it's like I'm happy for Vegas, but like they got a lot of talent in that draft they had of theirs.
Yeah.
Like
But Seattle in a couple years, that's what's going to happen.
what?
Seattle in a couple years, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they already sold their season tickets, so probably by 2020.
But I think I think Seattle's not going to get the same treatment Vegas did, just because of what Vegas is doing now. It's just it didn't help a lot of teams. I know, like the Nats or the Caps. The Caps right now could easily use a Nate Schmidt on their defense. Like I think he would be incredibly valuable to this team, because I think defense is sort of the biggest issue they have, or just performing in the playoffs, in general. But you look at LA, like this Vegas team's been hot, and it's just it's going to be very hard to go against them. I know Vegas is a new team, but I have a feeling it's going to be rocking in Vegas where they play, like just insane.
It seems like a wild card team always beats a one, though. I don't know which one it's going to be.
But like, and Vegas, it's not like they don't have a playoff experience goalie. They got Marc-Andre Fleury. Okay, yes, he has had his own playoff issues before, but like, he's proven that he can be a very good goalie in the playoffs. So it's not like they're bringing in a guy like who doesn't have any experience like to this, or it's not like they got like Vegas, like there was rumors during last season that Vegas was going to try to take Grubauer away from the Caps. It's not like
that would have killed you guys.
Exactly. But it's not like they have a guy who doesn't know what he's doing in the playoffs. They have a guy who has playoff experience there, and who has had playoffs where he's done well. So it's not like they're coming in with no one at goalie or a completely fresh face either.
No, I mean, yeah, Fleury has experience, but I mean, I don't know. It seems like a wild card team always beats a one.
So are you saying that LA is going to beat Vegas?
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, because I mean, Nashville. I think that series is set. Yeah, unless it could be the Caps. The Caps could go down. I mean, if Bobrovsky stands on his head.
Shut your mouth. You already made your decision. You're not backtracking on this. That's not what we do on this podcast, even though it's the first one we've had. It's a time-honored tradition that we don't do that. So.
Okay, thanks for telling me now, not before we got on the podcast. Okay.
Oh, it's fine. Well, it's a time-honored tradition. You should have known.
Okay, thanks for allowing me to prepare myself.
Well, you had all the time in the world, because we decided to do this at like 1:00 today.
Yeah, I think we actually come to think about it. Yeah. I don't know. I like LA. I think what Vegas did this year is awesome, but I gotta go LA just because. I know, as a Ranger fan, how good Johnny Quick can be in the playoffs, and they've all been there before. They've all been together. I gotta go LA.
I might actually follow that with that. This is a team that doesn't. I wanted to make the argument for Vegas just to try to push you over the edge. I sort of do like LA. I've heard actually a lot from different. Not like I know I mentioned Ryan Whitney earlier, but some predictions I've seen have LA winning as well. Vegas, they have been doing really well, and I guess they should be the favorites, but LA has that experience. They have Quick, who's playing as hot as he really has been all season. He's the hot-handed goalie you like. You saw what the Predators did from a wild card last year. Why can't LA do that this year? Let's head to the final matchup: Anaheim versus San Jose. I think this is going to be a good matchup. You got San Jose. They've been to the finals before. It's not like they don't know. Granted, it was 2 years ago. You got San Jose and the mighty Joel Ward versus Anaheim. Obviously, got a lot more on San Jose. I know you got Pavelski, Thomas, and some older guys that look like the trees from Lord of the Rings. Man. But yeah,
you got Brent Burns. I like Anaheim. I mean, healthy Gibson and healthy Ryan Miller is going to go a long way. Mm-hmm. But they did lose Cam Fowler, and he is an instrumental part of helping push the puck up from the D zone. God, I can't believe I'm doing. Yeah, I gotta go San Jose actually with this one.
Really?
But that could easily be Anaheim. That could easily be Anaheim too. That's probably the toughest matchup to pick.
I'm going with Anaheim purely because I really want them to win, so I don't have to see the San Jose ice, which looks like the lights just aren't on bright enough whenever you watch them on TV. It looks like they're playing on water, and it's sort of gray, and it's like could use a little bit more light there. So I'll be rooting for Anaheim. And I don't know. I
hope they win too. I just think San Jose is the better team right now.
I feel like Anaheim. And this is me not knowing even that much about hockey, but I think Anaheim has more talent, and I think San Jose is starting to get old. Am I wrong in saying that? That's just sort of what I think. Maybe it's the beards that are just confusing me. No. But I think that's sort of the narrative here. I'm going to go with talent over age at this point, so I'll have Anaheim winning this.
All right. I mean, that being said, Anaheim could easily get the job done too. I mean, I love Pagliano.
It sounds like you're really heavy on San Jose at this point. So you're going to go San Jose, and we'll go a gentleman's 5.
I know. I am going San Jose.
Yeah, in 5.
No, I'm going 7. I'm going 7 with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's get on to the second round. Then we'll go through these last rounds sort of fast because it's all hypothetical. Anna doesn't like.
Oh, hypothetical. Do you have like a button that can play that?
I'll have one for the next show.
Okay, awesome.
I'll figure it out. We'll just go back around the clock so I can get to my team last. Anaheim versus LA. I'll go with I'll go Anaheim here. I'll just go sort of the what people expect because LA's going to get back. Brian Quick's going to look amazing, and then they're going to play Anaheim. Everyone's going to be on LA, and I think that Anaheim's going to win this just because it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's like why isn't everything we expect? Why is everything we expected to happen not happening? And it's just going to be one of those really weird matchups that no one. I think people are going to hop on that LA bandwagon, and then Anaheim's going to win.
I mean, Anaheim lost to Nashville last year in the Western Finals. I mean, everyone forgets that. They're going to have Cam Fowler back at that point too. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for me, it's actually. How many games do you think that series is going to go?
I'll make it even more surprising. I'll go 6 games to Anaheim. I'll have it be like actually faster than people expect.
Okay. Let's see. I have LA against San Jose. I mean, I want to put Anaheim there. I don't think they're going to win without Cam Fowler. Yeah, so I'm going to go. I mean, it's tough to. I don't want to join the LA bandwagon. I feel like San Jose is underappreciated.
Just hop on. There's already like 10 million people in LA that are already on it. Even though San Jose is not. It's further north, but still. Or no, is it south? I'm mixing it up.
Yeah, what? Actually, where is it in relation to LA? I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't want to join the LA bandwagon though. That's the thing. I mean, I'll go San Jose just for that fact alone. just because it's so easy to pick LA.
Just because it's so easy to pick LA. San Jose south of San
No, and
Francisco, so it's not like they're both Cali teams,
okay.
but they're North Cali. NoCo versus SoCo.
I saw San Jose play this year too. I mean, granted, it was the beginning of the year, but I mean, they were fast. They were. I think they were the fastest team I saw the Rangers play all year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you got San Jose winning that. I got Anaheim. Let's move to the top part of the bracket. Nashville versus I have Winnipeg, Nashville. I'm just going to leave it at that. Smashville.
Yeah, I think it's Nashville's year.
Yeah.
I mean, they got two very solid goalies.
Watch out.
And they're loaded defensively. Watch
out. When you say it's a team's year, it normally doesn't go well. That's just speaking from personal experience. I'm not saying that it's Nashville's year because I don't want to, because I think I'm going to jinx them, but I also might have them winning it all. But it's definitely not their year. Yeah, I have Nashville, and let's complete the West while we're there. I have Nashville versus Anaheim. I have Nashville winning this as in a repeat of last year's Western Conference Final.
Yeah, I got Nashville going there too. I mean, but that could easily be Winnipeg. I think whoever wins Nashville, Winnipeg is going to win the West.
Really? What would happen if you saw Vegas win in their first round? Because you're what you said is you don't know if they really have the experience to do it. What if you saw Vegas beat LA? Would that necessarily change anything? Just because you'd see them get past an experienced team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that does change everything.
If LA wins
one, if Vegas can get by LA.
If Vegas wins one, are you going to put them over Anaheim or San Jose in the second round?
You mean if they win that series?
Yeah, if Vegas beats the Kings, are you going to have Vegas ranked above? Are you going to have them as above Anaheim or San Jose?
Depends how they do it.
Really? Okay. That's fair.
So, enough. But let's say Fleury comes out of there with a 9-3, I'm picking Vegas. If it's let's say I don't know, a 9 or an 8-9, somewhere around there, I'm picking the other team. I mean, because once again, you ride the hot goalie. I mean, once again, Pekka. I mean, Nashville was good last year, but Pekka would have won Conn Smythe if Nashville won the cup.
All right, that's fair enough. All right, let's hop over to the East. I got Tampa versus Boston. I think I did have Boston winning that. This is what I want to see. Boston just, I don't know if it's just because they're that original 6 team, but there is something. You know what? Boston's never intimidated me as a Capitals fan because Capitals have actually done surprisingly well against Boston over the past few years whenever we play them in the regular season. And we did have that triple overtime Joel Ward goal what was that 2012 playoffs I think.
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
But Boston doesn't intimidate me as a Capitals fan, which is interesting because there are other teams that do. But in terms of them playing other teams, they normally know what they're doing. They have experience. They have Tuukka, who's a phenomenal playoff goalie. I think Tampa, if you have the hot goalie, Tampa relies on its offense. You can shut down that offense a bit. I think Boston's going to get past Tampa with that.
Well, I think Boston. I think Boston once again is coming out of the East, but I mean Tampa. Vasilevsky's very good goalie for Tampa. I mean, he's extremely solid. I mean, I don't think they ride their offense. I mean, they have awesome D, but I just think Tuukka plays out of his mind in the playoffs, and I think Boston has the depth offensively to do it.
Yeah,
they're in every game they play.
Now, do you think that those Rangers trades are going to be worth it for Tampa? Do you think? Because I know they've had these issues before. But do you think that that's actually going to push them over? And I'm asking you that because you are a Rangers fan. Do you know these players better than probably anyone else, and probably better than a lot of the Tampa Bay fans? Do you think that I know you saw them losing to Boston, I do too, but do you think these trades were necessarily worth it? Should they have gone for other guys? Like Boston, or I mean, not Boston. Tampa is number one. Like they are the number one seed. They got there. They put together a phenomenal team. Like it's evident in the fact they're the best team in the East in terms of points. But both of us still have Boston winning. What did Tampa do wrong here? Like, could they have traded for? Do you think they should have tried trading for another players, or it looks like they brought in the right pieces, and it just. And we're saying this as if they've already lost, but there's a reason we're predicting Boston to win. Why do you think that's the case?
No, that's a very good question. I mean, obviously, Mac is Mac. I mean, JT Miller's like JT Miller. I know it doesn't really like mean much, but I mean, coming from a Ranger fan, I mean, Mac gave everything and more. For the Rangers. I mean, JT Miller, played hard every game too. I don't think it's necessarily they got the wrong pieces because they definitely got better. Adding both those guys. It's just, I just think Boston's better. And nothing against Tampa. It's just they're in every game. Even when they come out slow, like when they came out against the Panthers, they were still in that game till the end. So I think just on the fact alone that Boston's in every game that they play, gives them a better shot than Tampa. And then once again, Tuukka.
Yeah.
I think he's like 9.4 save percentage, like something absurd in the playoffs.
Makes sense. Yeah. Let's get to Capitals versus Penguins. How fast do you have the Capitals losing, and what is the score of Game 7? How many points do the Penguins score?
I think the Caps can do it.
Yeah,
I think they can get by Pittsburgh.
That's every single
time.
I want
to throw them a bone. I want to throw them a bone
Vin,
right now.
Has there been a time where the Caps played Pittsburgh where you go into that and you look at the game at the two teams on paper where you say the Caps can't do this? Like, I don't think any time the Washington has played Pittsburgh, the Washington hasn't, like, you couldn't have on paper said, like, yeah, I think we can. Like maybe Pittsburgh's a little bit more favored. I'd say more times on paper, Washington should be the favorite team. But they still lose. And it's always in a heartbreaking fashion. And they're going to suck me into it. Like, you talk to me once these playoffs start. I'm going to go to this Capitals Columbus game, and it's going to be like Caps are going to score like 8 goals in the first game. Just go crazy. Just like ridiculous. Like something absurd. And I'm going to be like, it's Caps here. It's all ours. And then Caps are going to be down. Like, they're going to be down. I've already explained this. They're going to be down 0-3. They're going to lose Ovi. They're going to win their next 3, scrap through all of them. Scrap through 2, win the third one by 8. Like another ridiculous game. And then the last game, it's either going to come down to the final second, or they're just not going to allow, or what do you call it? They're going to pull Grubauer after he allows 3 goals in the first period, and then hope he's going to allow 5 more in the second, and then they're going to have to bring on their emergency goalie because they just can't figure out anything else.
Emergency goalie Chase Castle. I think you got it, man. I really do.
Pittsburgh in 7. I just can't. I really want to say Caps. I really, really, really want to. And you asked me after this first game, and I'll probably say the Caps after that. But it's Pittsburgh just knows what they're doing. They won the last 2 Stanley Cups for a reason. Again, Malkin, Crosby, and Kessel. Unbelievable line. Like, even Backstrom, Ovi, Oshie, which is really, really good. And granted, they don't all play on the same line. They mix them up. But that's just absurd. I don't think Caps have the defense to keep up with them like they were supposed to last year. Shattenkirk didn't really help as he was expected. But and hell, you saw that this year with the Rangers. But
well, he got hurt though.
Yeah.
I can't really judge it.
But he didn't. He when he was on the Caps towards the end of last year, he didn't do a ton either. I'll go Pittsburgh in 7. It's going to be 7. Like Pittsburgh will be up 3-0. Don't expect that to go game. Don't expect it to be over in 4. Don't expect to be over in 5. Don't expect to be over in 6. Pittsburgh will win, but it will be in 7.
Oh my God. By the way, we're gonna have another one after this. After it's all said and done, and then we're gonna go through basically how bad we botched this because I know we got like. I mean, I know I'm gonna get like half these wrong.
Also, I just want to say in that game 7, Caps will have approximately 20 shots that hit pipe.
I'll play devil's advocate right now. I'll go Caps. I mean, I think.
No.
Nobody, even though
go Pittsburgh. Go Pittsburgh. You're saying this because I'm talking about how the Caps don't. Just say Pittsburgh. You don't actually believe that. You're saying that to get on my side.
But
say Pittsburgh.
Think about this though. The Caps. Think about this. Every year, everyone's like, "Oh, it's the Caps year." This year, no one said anything. No one has any.
Vin, you're not helping me as a friend right now. You're not helping me as a friend.
I'm not trying to help. I'm not trying to help you as a friend.
You're hurting me because come game 7, it's just gonna be that much worse.
I would have had them lose to Boston next round anyway.
Let's get to the finals of the Stanley of the East.
Right. Boston comes out of the East.
Pittsburgh versus Boston. I'm going to go Pittsburgh because they have the experience. They know what they're doing. I'm doing another repeat in the championship in Nashville, Pittsburgh.
I'm going Nashville, Boston.
Yellow versus yellow, regardless. Who you have winning? I have Smashville winning it all. I think they're going to overcome Pittsburgh this year.
Is anyone in the NHL colorblind? Like, especially for like the Preds and the Bruins?
It's all yellow. Yeah.
That would be so tough.
Well, I'm just waiting for
how would you play this?
What if Minnesota comes out in all green and Colorado somehow beats like Nashville and they go red green, and if you're colorblind, you're just screwed.
You're so screwed. I don't know how you're gonna be able to do that.
Just go color rush all over again.
Yeah, but Colorado's not even green. I mean, that would be like, I don't know, when USA came out of the Super Bowl games and they decided to go with the New Jerseys.
But if Colorado and Minnesota each win the first round, that's sort of like the one chance you got for that green on red action.
Yeah. Actually, is anyone in the NHL color? That's a good question. I mean, because if anyone, especially on those teams, I mean, they probably can't play, right?
Yeah. Can't help. Make a formal request. Make a formal request that they wear their white uniforms.
Oh, that would not fly.
But yeah, who you have winning it all?
Yeah, I gotta go Nashville. But I will say this: it's every year when you think a one seed's gonna win, they don't.
And who knows? Who knows?
I mean, last time that won the team that won the President's Cup was, I believe, Chicago, 2013.
Oh, didn't you have a stat that you were like talking about before in the pre-podcast that you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, so
I want to make sure we get to that before we end this.
Okay. Basically a team that, if you look at like the past like 6 or 7 Stanley Cup winners, all their goalies have a save percentage of 9.2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except for one, Mr. Johnny Quick. Of course, 2014. Conn Smythe goes to Justin Williams. Oh my God, every frigging time they play the Rangers, he goes off. I don't know what it is.
Justin Williams just lives in Vin's nightmares. Like he like comes out of them for game time and then he goes back home. Is like in Vin's head.
He gets like 2 or 3 points.
Vin
not fair.
Vin like awakes in the middle of the night, like after like seeing like him like Vin's there goalie for whatever reason. It's like, why am I here? And then see Justin Williams without his helmet on and his crazy hair just all over the place. It's like, oh hey Vin, and just slap shot one, and it literally goes right through your face mask, and you just wake up. You're like breathing heavily. He just lives inside your head.
That's the one.
He lives inside your head.
I think the other one is, I'm at Game 7 in the Garden, and it's going nuts. Justin Williams has a shootout, has a penalty shot. He comes down, scores on Hank, pops the ball, takes off his glove, and just points at me, and then I wake up. calls me out in front of everybody. He goes out of his way just to look at me and just to call me out in front of the Garden faithful. But yeah, with Johnny Quick, I mean,
But Vin,
he played terrible. I mean, I was not gonna say terrible, but
Vin,
against
I'm just
Chicago, but he went off against the Rangers.
I'm waiting for the day that like, and in some it's going to like feel some odd messed up world, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Justin Williams is going to go to the Rangers, and Lundqvist is going to go to another team. Rangers are going to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, and you guys are going to win with Justin Williams scoring on Henrik Lundqvist.
Oh, don't do that. I don't know how I feel about that.
Like just wait for that to happen. The man that's haunted you your entire time, throughout his entire career, is going to score on like your favorite player of all time. Well, maybe not of all time, but I don't know. But one of your favorite players of all time while he's playing for the other team to win your team a Stanley Cup final.
I mean, that would be brutal. That would be the definition of bittersweet.
It really would. Speaking of bittersweet, I think it's time to end this podcast. I think it's been fun. We will definitely be doing this again for the next round. Ran a little over an hour. It looks like the time's like around 1:11. I think that's fine. I don't care if we run over. This is a podcast. We don't have time restrictions.
Yeah, no one's listening. I don't think anyone's listening anyway. Yeah. So I mean,
fuck
doesn't
anything.
matter. Just us talking, having a conversation.
If you listen to any of this, thank you. Let alone get to the full hour 11 of this podcast. Damn, I'm not mad. I'm impressed. Why would I be mad? I'm more than happy that we even had that listen. But yeah, thank you all. I hope you enjoyed Vin's pictures of him playing for Ridgefield. There are like another of you in the handshake line and you just sort of on ice. Hopefully
handshake line.
Yeah, no, not handshake line. It's after you scored. Sorry, you're high-fiving your team. My bad. But yeah, look for better pictures next time, and look for our predictions to be horribly wrong. Anyways, go Caps, and good time. Peace.